We have made it, the week of the Oscars. I always tell my friends, this is like the Super Bowl for me. Like, I'm a sports fan, but I also just really like watching the Oscars. I have to give this same spiel every single year. The Oscars are important. All of these awards are important. I said this about Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was really nice knowing that the Daniels would never have to, like, struggle to fund their next project. So you can be edgy and annoying and just be like, who cares? It's the Oscars, bro. Like, yeah, they make terrible decisions all the time. Bohemian Rhapsody for editing, Promising Young Woman for screenplay. Like, come on. The big one being, you know, Green Book winning Best Picture. Oh my god. But they've been a lot better as of recent. Within the last 3 years, they've been picking pretty solid Best Picture nominees. I thought this year, instead of just talking about the Oscars as a whole, I would just go ahead and rank all my Best Picture nominees. By the way, they need to put this back to 5. 10 is too much. Especially when we know, like, maybe 2 movies have a chance to win it. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe Nickel Boys will win Best Picture. Who knows? Alright, let's get into it. Okay, let me be 100% here. This movie is not playing anywhere near me. I can't find it anywhere. Sometimes it will play, but it'll be like noon on a weekday. I really want to see this. I'm really excited to see this eventually. So just bookmark this, you know, maybe it'll end up at like 2, maybe it'll end up at like 6, who knows. The main reason I made this video in this format is because I kind of wanted to talk about Emilia Pérez. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to talk about this movie without any of the problematic themes, just purely as a film. And trust me, there are problematic themes to digest. Like, come on, you go to Israel to transition? Really? I had a quick little argument with my friend about, like, well, maybe they're really progressive about that for some reason. And I was like, probably not. They just performed their first surgery in 2023. And you guessed it, with United States people. With us. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know why she went there. But yeah, also kind of problematic to turn your trans character into a predator. Just not good all around, but we don't need to talk about that. The biggest crime this film commits is fooling the Academy that this is even a well-crafted film. So many times I didn't know that they were singing until I noticed the subtitles had musical notes next to them. So many songs were without melodies and it was just kind of people talking fast. The editing was obnoxious, and this is such a key aspect in musicals. The ending is what you write when you can't think of a landing. Not to spoil the movie, but I just imagine the writing process when something like, spill every secret and die in a car crash and let's end this puppy. Awful film. Evil film, even. Look, don't hate me. I did not enjoy Wicked that much. It wasn't meant for me, okay? I do like musicals. I really liked West Side Story. I'm a huge Grease guy. I just didn't feel like this had the sauce. The performances were great. Grande's great. Arrivo's great. I just wish I had more to say here. I'm sorry, Wicked fans. Don't take this opinion seriously. I just really couldn't get into it. Thought it looked really weird too. I didn't like the colors. Look, man, no one is going to like what I have to say about Anora. I love Sean Baker. I love The Florida Project. I love Red Rocket. That's probably my favorite of his. And I love Tangerine. Tangerine got me excited about filmmaking because it was, you know, filmed on an iPhone. He deserves to be awarded, but not with this film. I do feel like it's baffling that this film is a lock for screenplay. I feel like it's one of the worst aspects of the film. If you wrote the major plot points of this movie without filling anything in on a whiteboard, I say you have a great film on your hands. The execution of the second into the third act will forever put me off. I just can't get into this movie being turned into like a slapstick comedy where Anora is in the backseat of her own movie. I'm not going to be angry about Sean Baker winning some Oscars. I will say it's not ideal with all the accounts that he follows. He's defended Kyle Rittenhouse before. He follows an account called IDF Babes. Not ideal. It's very funny that he would prescribe to some ideology like that given the films that he makes, but he's probably going to win a few Oscars on March 2nd. I do think we're kind of sweeping this film under the rug. I really did enjoy A Complete Unknown. I haven't enjoyed a biopic like this since Rocketman. It kind of feels like the best a biopic can be, especially a music biopic. I have to applaud James Mangold for letting Timothée Chalamet record live. And obviously, Timothy, how do you do that, dude? I guess that's what happens when you play Bob Dylan for like 5 years off and on. It was just such a good decision to not use pre-recorded tracks. I want to hear rough around the edges Bob Dylan. I don't think this film overstayed its welcome, and I'm really glad that James Mangold decides to keep casting Boyd Holbrook. I don't know why this seems like such a brave decision. He's like the greatest thing in all of his movies. Loved him in Logan. He's such a good Johnny Cash in this. As a guy that really likes The Brutalist, I would not be mad if Timothy won Best Actor. I really liked his SAG speech as well. Nickel Boys took me a little bit before I could get completely grabbed by it. The experimental filmmaking really didn't hit me until like the second or third act where I could actually like digest it. It did seem like a little obnoxious at first. I also didn't really know where the film was going. I wasn't sure what the plot was going to be. I didn't know anything about this movie at all. Never heard of the book. When this film kicks into high gear, man, you better strap in. If you don't know, Nickel Boys is a movie shot entirely from POV, and it's about a reform school in Florida that treats its kids very poorly. I'll leave it at that. It's a lot more cruel than that, okay? I can't believe Ramel Ross is not nominated for Best Director. This movie will just devastate you. It will ruin your week. Go watch it. I don't know why this film isn't winning Best Picture, to be honest. Election year with a lot of stakes. They're all divas. Ralph Fiennes is so damn good in this too. The editing is the best of the year, I think. Why can't we all just compromise and give it Best Picture? Really loving Edward Berger's output recently, and the production design here is marvelous to look at. The twist at the end of this movie is one of my favorite moments to be in a theater for. I was just non-stop laughing, dude. It's such a great twist. What is left to say about this film? The cast is perfect, the direction is perfect, the location is perfect. It will forever dumbfound me that Denis will not win an Oscar for these movies, man. Timmy embodies the role of a man turning into a ruthless leader. Super excited for Messiah whenever it comes out. This is what I said when I watched it. This is gonna be our Star Wars. You know, like if we have a planet for that long, we're gonna be showing our kids this. I still believe it should be a screenplay frontrunner because, I mean, come on, nobody can do this. Nobody has done this before. Not to this level.
This is The Substance.
I think this is my fourth time talking about The Substance on here, so let's keep this brief. Demi Moore is who I'm rooting for in the Best Actress race. I really like Mikey Madison's performance, but I kind of like Demi's better. I don't think this is like a legacy award for her. Who do we think Demi Moore is anyways? Like, do we think she's like Viola Davis or like Meryl Streep or something? This is based off of merit. It truly is. Now, there might be some age bias when it comes to awarding this, but this is still off of merit. I promise. I mean, the two most effective scenes for me in this movie were both from Demi Moore's performance. The two scenes for me is when she's getting ready, and then when she's cooking food and she's all gray and nasty. I really love the package of this film. It has a clear message. It's not so subtle in its delivery, but as the director says, misogyny is not subtle. This film just always has stuck with me ever since I watched it. Great time. Within the pool of Best Picture nominees, this is the one I'm rooting for. Brody gives me my favorite performance of the year. The scene of him being shown his buildings, then crying is the moment that I was like, you know what? He can win the Oscar. I'll allow it. By the end of this film, Brady Corbet is showing you the frustrations of becoming an artist, the frustrations of making compromise with your patrons, and truly making sacrifices. I don't think a lot of movies have shown me like the actual kowtowing to the financiers like this. I really do like Kieran Culkin's performance in A Real Pain, but I think Guy Pearce is like the most evil guy I've ever seen in this movie. He probably should have won an award somewhere. Like the best word to describe him in this movie would be like a ghoul. But yeah, that's the movie I'm rooting for Best Picture. I don't think it's gonna happen, but like, is it the craziest world that like it somehow comes away with like Best Actor, Best Director, Best Cinematography? Like, I feel like it's got a package somewhere. And it was the front runner at some point when Anora dropped off so much. I don't know. What are you rooting for Best Picture? Do you think there's even like a chance Anora loses? I think it would be funny if it lost because I think it would just be a huge shock to everybody. I'll see y'all later.